So the first thing I'm going to talk about is communication, and picking the right devices is essential when we want to digitally enable hospital staff. It doesn't necessarily mean that everyone has to use the same kind of device. It's very dependent on different user profiles and roles within the hospital. For clinically led staff who may need access to patient-specific information and clinical applications such as EPR applications, they will benefit from using smart devices for their communication needs. For more functional roles within the hospital, such as portering and domestic teams, they may use a basic device that can accept and reject alerts and carry out activities such as messaging and phone calls, but doesn't require clinically led apps. We know that often staff carry several different devices at once, maybe a phone and a pager, sometimes two, as they may be covering a number of different roles for their shift. But we want to move away from this and consolidate these devices into one handset that becomes your working tool for the day. For this demonstration, I will be using a smart device, as you can see on the screen. And this is where I will show you notifications coming into the device from different systems, like nurse call alerts, emergency alerts, and medical device alerts. Traditionally, devices, whether pagers or phones, are used as a baton pass. So I finish my shift as the nurse in charge, and I physically hand the phone onto the member of staff who is covering the next shift. But if you want to give healthcare professionals autonomy, our application allows you to have an individual login where you can assign yourself a role for the day. The application itself is a single sign-on, which means the user only has one interface to interact with. It can be ran on Android or iOS, so if your hospital has a bring your own device policy, staff can simply download the application and log in with their personal credentials. I'll just log in so you can see the home screen. What we have is my user profile. This is where you can see your name, role, and availability status. And as I have just come on shift, I want to assign myself into a role for the day. I simply scroll down, select Assign, and it will take me to the page where I can assign myself to the unit and role. I can select the unit I am working on, so AAH, which is Ascom Hospital, but this will be the list of units which are in your hospital, and I can simply select which role I will be working in that day. This also gives me the option to assign myself into multiple roles if I'm covering other areas within the hospital. Once I have selected a role, I press Save and back to my home screen. I will be able to see what role I have assigned myself into. This now means that when someone wants to contact me, they can search in the staff directory by the role rather than having to know a specific number or individual's name. They can simply click on the staff directory and a list of staff will appear, and I can search for the role I want to contact. And this information can be integrated from your own hospital staff directory. So for example, I want to contact an ED consultant. I can type in ED and the system will filter those with ED in their title. I can see if Richard is available and I have the choice to ring or message him. If I want to change my availability status, I navigate back to my home screen and I select the available button at the top. I then have the option to say whether I'm busy or do not disturb. I can set the duration for how long I will be unavailable. And I can also select a reason as to why I'm away. So for example, if I am with a patient. I then also have the option to delegate someone to be contacted on my behalf. This provides visibility to other staff as to why I may not be contactable. Now I'm logged in and assigned to my roles. I can look at the rest of the application. Across the bottom, we have several tabs. The Alerts tab is where I will receive prioritized notifications from different hospital systems, such as my nurse call alerts. And then we have our chat application, which is a secure messaging application that allows staff to communicate with each other via text. Within the chat, we can carry out one-to-one chats, group chats, but we can also communicate in patient-specific chats. If I click on an active chat, I can simply type a message to another staff member and get a sent or read receipt. Or I can select predefined messages that we may use often in specific areas or wards. For example, who's got the keys or who is on break. It also has features that allows me to add attachments, like voice or picture attachments, or even PDF files, so we can share information around a patient quickly and securely. The next tab then says Patients. This is where we can integrate into the hospital ADT feed to create patient-specific chats. We have bed locations, and if I select a bed location, I can see information about the patient, but also what staff are assigned to the patient's care, which makes it easy for me to contact other members of the MDT team. So within this feature, there's a chat tab, and this also allows us to talk specifically about the patient and then share this information into the hospital's EPR feed. Now I have my application set up, I am ready to start my shift on the ward.